Shot fired.
Staccato CS. Some say it's the best. They quickly became obsessed because they were so impressed. But when put to the test, does it really top the rest? There's this feeling in my chest, one that I can't get past. And I'm sure by now you've guessed that when this trigger is pressed, it may not actually prove to be the best. Man of action who rely on perfection tend to keep shit simple. No need for flash, no need for shining. They just want their gun to go bang with exact perfection.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jim, and today we're going to be talking about the Staccato CS for the second time. I finally got the Staccato CS out to the range, and after running it back to back with the HKCC9, which I recently reviewed, I've got some thoughts. Spoiler alert, the Staccato CS absolutely delivers, even if it's not quite the giant killer some YouTubers make it out to be. We're going to start things off with the shooting experience and balance. The first thing that stood out was how well balanced the gun feels in the hand. Let's go ahead and show clear very quickly. It's compact, but not in the compromised way that smaller pistols oftentimes are. Shooting it, I didn't get the impression that it performed like a much bigger gun. That's a bit of a stretch, but it absolutely shoots like a slightly larger gun, more in line with something like a Staccato C. The recoil impulse isn't abrupt or overly snappy, which is impressive given the size. You could tell Staccato worked the geometry and spring rate just right. It tracks wonderfully, and it's much more pleasant to shoot than most pistols of this size. Now, talking about the Staccato CS versus the HKCC9. Since I took both of these out to the range together, it made for a perfect size and performance comparison. To be blunt, the CS shot circles around the CC9, which I honestly hate saying. Let me show that's clear as well. Because while I have never been a fanboy of any one brand of anything, I am a fan of HK. I love HK. Every HK I've ever owned has been an exceptional experience. And as I mentioned in my CC9 reviews, as good as it is, it's not that jaw-dropping, life-altering, completely different than everything else on the market kind of experience that HK generally gives you. It's not exceptional. It's good. It's really good. It's just not exceptional. And I feel that for anything that is roll-stamped HK, it really does need to be exceptional. So, the Staccato shot circles around it. I mean, it wasn't even close. The CS was noticeably more controllable. The CC9 is very snappy, as you would expect. This is not something that I wasn't expecting. I knew the CC9 was going to be snappy. That's why I brought these out to the range to be broken in together, because I wanted to see how much better it was going to handle the muzzle flip and recoil than this. And as expected, it did handle it better. It just did it better than I would have hoped for. Return to zero, it was quicker and snappier back on target. And I didn't feel like I was having to lead it in that direction. I had my grip the way I wanted it, and it went right back exactly where I wanted it to. And of course, the trigger. That single action trigger is everything you'd expect. It allowed me to shoot both more accurately and more quickly than with the HK, which, as I have mentioned, does not have a really good trigger. It's just okay. It's tolerable. Honestly, it's not much different than the trigger on a P365. And that's not that the CC9 is bad. It's just that the CS plays in a completely different league when it comes to performance. It seems to cycle faster. I don't feel it cycling. That's how quickly it's going. The trigger resets more quickly and more, what's the best word? More predictably, I believe would be the best word for that, than this does. And that really is nothing more than the difference between a 1911 single action trigger and a striker fired polymer gun. I think that that's the biggest difference there. I don't feel that Staccato has made a significantly better gun than HK. I just feel like on its face, a single action bow style straight pullback trigger is always going to perform better, or at least feel more pleasant than a hinged polymer striker fired trigger. Now let's talk about the concealed carry potential, because that I think is really the biggest deal. And it really is why this particular gun exists. This may be one of the best possible daily carry concealed guns on the market right now. It's compact, manageable, and all without sacrificing the key features and performance that you'd expect in a full-size Staccato. Again, it's not shooting like a full-size Staccato, like a Staccato P, but it's giving you performance and accuracy and all the features that you would get from a larger full-size Staccato. Is it better than every other 2011 or double stack 1911 I own? No, absolutely not. My Platypus is leagues above this gun. My OA Defense 2311 is better in many ways than this gun. My Bull Armory SAS2 EDC Pro is better than this gun as far as recoil management, as far as a superb crisp trigger, and it is absolutely glass smooth compared to this. But in terms of compactness, without giving up performance, the CS is the clear and serious winner. It balances concealability with shootability better than just about anything else out there that I've personally shot. So yeah, I will never be a Staccato fanboy, but this has made an indelible mark on me. It has changed the way I've thought about the brand overall. And I haven't been particularly soured on the brand. I've just owned Staccato before and wasn't as impressed as everybody else seems to be. And it wasn't the end-all be-all for me. And even the very first time I went out to shoot it, I brought out guns that I had owned for a while that I was, I wouldn't say bored with, but I was accustomed to. And I far preferred shooting those over the Staccato C. And the Staccato C was the brand new gun on that day. That should have been the one that I couldn't keep my hands off of. And it just didn't wow me. It was a good gun. It just didn't wow me. This has done a lot more to wow me. It doesn't do anything that another 2011 or 1911 doesn't do. It's just that for its size, I don't feel like I'm giving up anything. So let's talk about value and who it's for. I've already discussed the price and value equation in my desk pop video, so I won't belabor it here. I'll just say this very short and quick. If you can afford the roundabout $3,000 price tag and you can justify it, you should buy one. If you can't afford it, don't put yourself in a tough financial spot because it's not a magical lamp with a fucking genie inside. It is not going to suddenly make you a better shooter. If you're already a hotshot with a polymer striker-fired pistol or a CZ75 based pistol, you can spend a third of the price of this gun on a souped-up Glock, a Shadow Systems, or a CZ Shadow 2, let's say, carry. Or even step up into the Archon Type B and still just crush it on the range. This will not change how good you are with a gun. What it will do is it will absorb a couple of your tiniest mistakes. Now, if you're shooting with a red dot, realize many of the mistakes that people have when it comes to speed and accuracy will be exacerbated when you look at that little red dot. Because if you've got shaky hands or poor trigger control, you're going to see that in that dot. But taking that away, this gun will make up for very minor deficiencies. If you just flat out suck when it comes to pulling the trigger on everything that you've got, let's say you've got some standard double action guns, the SIG P228, SIG P226, any Beretta that runs across your mind, whatever. And you can't shoot for crap with it because of that long double action trigger or all of your striker fired guns. You can't shoot for crap with it. You might pick this up and shoot a little bit better just because the trigger is a little more sensitive. You're not having to put as much effort into it and possibly moving the gun. It's a snappier, quicker reaction within the mechanics of the gun. That slide is going to reciprocate, that hammer is going to reset. All this stuff will be seemingly faster than this. So it will give you a little bit of an edge. It's not enough where if you're sitting there going, man, if I spend $3,000 right now, then my family is going to have a hard time eating in the next week, or I'm risking not being able to make a car payment or something like that. Don't do it. Don't do it thinking that this is going to be your answer to absolutely everything. If you own a good collection of guns, you're happy with some, not quite as happy with others, and you understand the reasons why. And you know that you already like the 2011 or 1911 platform a lot. And you're constantly practicing and working on your skills, then I think this will do you some good. So if you're a 2011 aficionado and you've got $100 bills falling out of your asshole when people walk up and shake you, then yeah, do it. The CS is an outstanding pistol that lives up to its reputation. My final take, the Staccato CS is balanced, controllable, and flat out fun to shoot. It's a top-tier concealed carry option. Just make sure your wallet is as ready as you are. You will enjoy shooting this on the range. The primary complaint with a lot of people when they get into subcompact and micro-compact guns is they don't enjoy practicing with them. They could be a little bit brutal on the recoil. They could be just a little bit too flippy, a little bit too much muzzle flip, and just not fun for some people to shoot. I can totally relate to that. I can totally understand that. With the CS, you don't have any of that. It feels much more controllable. It's not punishing in the slightest to shoot. I was toying with the idea maybe I was going to do a big old chunk port on here because, hey, modifying your guns is fun. I just don't see the need to with this one. I think that with the grip size the way that it is, the recoil system made the way that it is, and the overall balance of this particular gun, it just works perfectly. I don't feel the need to do any of that. Will I? Yeah, probably. Because I'm a I'm a modding whore when it comes to cars, trucks, motorcycles, guns. I really enjoy customizing them to suit my personal tastes. So to say that I'll never port it is a lie. To say that I most likely won't port it, that could be the truth. And very quickly, so that you don't have to tune in to see that one particular video, if you're curious about how this new Siley Wolf EDG performed, guys, for $172, I think it is, you couldn't ask for a better enclosed emitter optic. This thing is fantastic. It took everything that this little powerhouse threw at it, stayed zeroed, never fluctuated, never got blinky, never did anything out of the ordinary. It worked fantastically well. I was very, very happy. And I think the overall package here is just about perfect. I really do like it. Now that I finally have my Tier 1 concealed holster, my APX, I'm super happy. It took, oh my God, it took over a month for the holster to arrive. But that's what you expect when you buy Tier 1 concealed. When you're buying the best, you're going to wait for it. And I'm totally okay with that. So don't take that as a complaint. So yeah, again, what a great little gun. I'm really, really, really glad that I've got this one. Does it mean I'm going to buy more Staccatos? Probably not. And I tell you right now, if OA Defense had made this exact size before Staccato did, or when Staccato did, I would have bought that and never looked back. If when I went to order this size of the Bull Armory SAS2, which at the time they were calling the ultralight, they're changing shit up again, folks. Go look at the website. It's all different again. They had the ultralight pro with the porting. I would have bought that and never looked at this, never looked back, because I know it would have been a better gun overall and hundreds and hundreds of dollars less. And with the plate system for the optics, that's included with the purchase of the gun, not an additional $130. So yeah, but as luck would have it, I lucked into this before those others were either created or available. And I really, really, really like it. But I'm very certain on any of those. And I'll throw the platypus in there as well. If there was a platypus mini, I would have never looked at this. And in the future, if the platypus does come out in a 3.5 inch, if OA Defense finally does that as well, I will definitely have one of each of those. And then this might be retired, but I will do a comparison and fire them together and give you my honest feedback on them. And if the Staccato is the winner, it won't hurt any more than saying I prefer my Staccato over my HK. That's something I thought I would never, ever utter. But that's just the way it is. But then again, $550, $2750. Big, 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 big difference. They have a lot of room to do a lot of good shit with all that extra money. So it shouldn't be all that surprising. Anyway, I'm out of here for now. Thank you guys ever so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video.